Hey everyone, it's Marsha. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm super excited to share with you this delicious chicken stir-fry recipe. Now this is perfect whenever you need a quick and easy weeknight dinner meal. You can have dinner on the table in about 30 minutes. So I'm excited to share it with you, but as always, before we get started, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below so you never miss when I upload a new video. All right, so let's get started. So we're gonna start off by prepping our vegetables. So I'm gonna chop up one onion, and my onion was kind of big, so I didn't chop up the full onion. I cut it in about a half, maybe 2/3 of the onion. And so I'm just gonna chop that up, roughly chop it up. You don't have to finely chop it up. So I'm just gonna roughly chop up my onion. Once that's done, I'm gonna add that to a separate bowl while I start on my red bell pepper. So I have one red bell pepper. You can certainly use a different color if you want, green, yellow, orange. I like the flavor of red. I feel like I can taste the bell pepper a little bit more than I can with a green bell pepper. So I'm using a red one. If you want to add 2 or 3, have at it. This recipe is super flexible, so if you want to add more, you can. But I'm just going to add 1 today. And so I'm just going to roughly chop this up just like I did the onions. And then I'm going to add it to the same bowl that I added the onions in. Then I'm going to move on to my garlic. So I have 3 garlic cloves that I'm going to chop up. And I honestly, to be honest with you guys, I hate chopping up garlic, but I prefer fresh garlic over garlic paste or like the garlic that you get in the jar, because the fresh garlic just has so much more flavor. So even though it's kind of tedious, I just go ahead and do it anyway because I know it tastes really good. But certainly your choice. All right, so now I'm moving on to my chicken. So I have 2 large chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm gonna cut them in half, and then I'm going to chop them into 1-inch bite-sized pieces. So after I cut it in half, the way I'm doing mine is just go ahead and cut it into strips. And then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of chop them up into bite-sized pieces. Once I finish one, I'm just moving on to the next one, and I'm just showing you exactly how I like to chop up mine. If you have a better technique that works for you, by all means, do whatever is best for you. This is just the way that I like to do mine. After my chicken is chopped up, I'm gonna season it with some salt and some pepper, and then a little bit of garlic powder. Now that all of that is out of the way, it's time to start cooking. All right, so to a large skillet, I am adding 2 tablespoons of oil, and I heated my skillet up first, so that's why you can kind of see that shimmer in the oil. So I heated my skillet up, now I'm adding my oil, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add in my chicken pieces. So I'm gonna cook the chicken first before I cook anything else. And I am using a stainless steel skillet. I actually switched all of my cookware recently to stainless steel, and I am gonna buy a cast iron skillet as well. I just needed new cookware, and I felt like stainless steel was a little bit safer. But it is tricky cooking in stainless steel, so I'm slowly learning some techniques, and I'll definitely share it with you guys in a different video. But heating the skillet up first has definitely helped, so that's one of the tricks that I learned. And I am cooking this on a medium heat, so I don't want to cook it on a high temperature because it'll, kind of burn on you, especially in a stainless steel skillet. So kind of keep the temperature medium to medium low. And as you can see, after a few minutes, that chicken is releasing from the bottom of the pan. It's not sticking at all, so it's actually cooking just the way I want it. So while my chicken is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and make my sauce, the sauce for the chicken stir fry. So we're gonna be using some soy sauce. I'm adding in about 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, and I'll definitely have the full measurements listed down below in the description box. Then I'm gonna use some sweet chili sauce, and I'm adding in about 4 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce as well. And you certainly don't have to use the brands that I am using. You can certainly use any brand that you like. I just want you to see exactly the ingredients that I'm putting in. Next, I'm gonna add in some rice vinegar and then some sesame oil. Then I'm gonna add in some brown sugar to sweeten it. If you want to use maple syrup or honey instead, you can. And then I'm gonna add in some cornstarch to thicken it up. Now, I actually meant to add the cornstarch and water first. I added a little bit of water as well. I meant to do that first because cornstarch, you kind of want to break that down and make sure it dissolves. But I'm stirring it really good here with the rest of my sauce, and you just want to make sure that brown sugar and cornstarch dissolves completely. Once my sauce is thoroughly mixed together, it'll look a little something like this. And then you could just set it to the side and it's already ready for you when you need it. All right, y'all, so my chicken is done. And as you can see, it left some really nice brown bits at the bottom of my pan, which I love because that just adds more flavor to the rest of your dish. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this chicken to a separate plate and get ready to cook the rest of the ingredients. All right, to that same skillet, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my vegetables. I'm not gonna wipe the skillet out at all. I don't need to. I want to save those brown bits because again, that's more flavor. I did add in a little bit more oil, and now I'm just gonna saute. So the brown bits are going to start to release from the pan once your vegetables start releasing some of their moisture. So you can start to scrape up those brown bits as the vegetables cook. While my onion and bell pepper is cooking, I went ahead and steamed my broccoli. So this is the broccoli that I bought. I like to get this bag of broccoli florets just to make it easy, but you can certainly just cut off some florets from a head of broccoli. And then I like to steam them in the microwave. My bag busted open on me, but I just steamed them for about 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna add them to the same pan with my onions and bell pepper. So as you can see, my onions and bell pepper have sauteed nicely. They picked up some of that color from the pan. And now it's just time to dump in my broccoli. And if you are using fresh broccoli that you cut off yourself from a broccoli head, just make sure you blanch it a little while in some hot water, just so you can kind of either steam it or blanch it before you add it in with the rest of your vegetables. Next, I'm gonna add in my minced garlic. So I do like to add this in last. I could have added it before the broccoli, but you just don't want to add it at the same time as you do the peppers and the onions because garlic tends to burn easily. So I wanted to add that in at the end, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stir that in with the rest of the vegetables. All right, so now that our vegetables have sauteed, I'm gonna go ahead and add that cooked chicken back into the skillet. And now everything is coming together, you guys. So I'm just gonna stir that chicken around. Once that's all mixed together, it's time to add in our sauce. Now I stirred my sauce again since it has been sitting for a little while. And now I'm just gonna pour it over all of the chicken and vegetables. So I'm gonna mix it all together, and believe it or not, that sauce is going to stretch and get on every piece of that chicken and those vegetables, and it's just going to cover and lightly coat everything really nicely. So just make sure you're stirring it thoroughly so everything can get coated with some of that sauce. So just let it simmer on medium-low to low heat, just so all of the vegetables and the chicken can get coated in all of that goodness. And there you have, you guys, a super simple and delicious chicken stir-fry recipe that's perfect for a weeknight dinner meal. We like to serve ours with some white rice. You can certainly use noodles if you want. And I just sprinkled a few green onions on the top just for presentation, but it also gives it some flavor as well. That's certainly optional. But you guys, I hope you try this recipe out. If you do, let me know down in the comments how you like it. And as always, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you never miss when I upload a new video. Until next time, friends, I'll see you later.